So you've picked up this game called Entropia Universe, you've downloaded for free, you don't have to put anything in, and you decide, okay, let's give this a shot. Like most of us that play Entropia Universe, you get maybe half an hour to an hour in and you go, this is fucking amazing. I like this. And so, like any good Entropia fan, you're going to be thinking, okay, what can I do with my time and my money? You've decided, you know what, I do want to invest. I want to help the developers, but I'm only going to put $10 in a month. I'm only going to put $10 in a month, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to see how I go. I really only play a couple of times a week for a couple of hours. Maybe, you're working a 9 till 5, you get home at around 6 p.m. and you're like, I'm just going to sit down. I'm going to have a nice hot cup of tea or a nice hot coffee or an energy drink or whatever the hell you're having, right? And you're like, I'm going to play for a couple of hours and, I'm going to see what happens. So, that's the general gist of what you're doing. Now, what exactly can you do with $10 in a month? You've decided I can only afford $10 a month. What realistically can you do with $10 a month? And let's go off of the assumption that you're a fresh new face. Even if you're not a fresh new face, this is still something that can be applied for most people. First, for a point of reference, we're going to look at my current skill points. My current skill points are 60,723. Right? 60,723. I am just going to quickly write that down so I also remember that. So, take it, just take a note of your skill points, your total skill points. Just, make a note of it. And, if you want, you can follow along with me while I'm doing this if you like. You, of course, don't have to. But it's fun to assess a few things anyway. So you've thought, okay, I've got 100 PED to work with for the month. Well, I'm relatively low level, so how about I do some hunting? How about I do a little bit of hunting? And we're gonna also go off the assumption that you didn't buy any of the packs. You're like just fresh guy. You've just used up all of your stuff from the tutorial area and all that sort of stuff. Let's say you have nothing except the VSE Mark 1 and maybe a first aid pack. You're fresh out of college, right? Well, let me just shove all my stuff into here, just so we have an accurate assessment of a few things. Yeah, we'll leave this. Let's say you've decided, I'm gonna do a little bit of hunting. So you're gonna go over to your weapons and you're like, I don't know. I really like the idea of, I know from experience in certain games that if I was to use melee weapons, it would increase my strength, and that could be interesting. Let's say you're not 100% sure on the concept of certain things, where you're like, you know what? A pistol is really cheap. A pistol is nice and cheap, and it's a starter pistol. I'm in a starting area. I'm gonna get this. And let's say I want to see what I can do with, let's see what I can do with 5 PED. So you get that 5 PED. You equipped all your stuff. Let me just do a thing. So you have nothing except your gun and some ammunition. You've still got 92 PEDs left, right? Now, your experience will vary. Your experience may vary due to me having more skills compared to someone that's a fresh new face. But keep an eye on the skill points that you have, right? Let's equip the gun. And let's just go ham on this guy. Now, I am going to do a little bit of hunting for the next couple of minutes. And then we're going to come back and we're going to see exactly what I got back. But we're going to see exactly how many skill points we gained. And with that, your hunt is over. You have 3 shots left, but you don't trust. You don't trust that you can kill one of these guys in only 3 shots, because guess what? You probably can't. You probably can't. These guys take, with a pistol, around 5 to 6 shots. I'd say about 5 shots to take down. So you return home with your spoils, you go back to Camp Icarus, or wherever you're at. Wherever you have decided to call your, I guess, newbie home, that is where you go and you think, I'm going to look and see what I got. Trade terminal. Sell. First you put in the remainder, and then you put in the rest. 420! Yeah. That's nice. But what's this? I found a carrot. I found carrot? Yes. Yes, you won't just have to put up with the things that you get from creatures, from the loot. You'll also get things like carrots, and bombardos, and the other guys, papillones, and hambros, and things like that. And you'll also get bones that you'll be able to sell to other players, so... But how long did that hunt take me? Oh, it took me about 10 minutes. 10 minutes, 5 PEDs, and just in the loot, made back 420. That's not bad, but what was the decay like on the weapon? Because I'm assuming you now understand what decay is. When you shoot a weapon, it loses condition. With the weapons from the trade terminal, once these things have lost all condition, you can't use them anymore. So you have a look in your weapon and you go, ooh, I've only lost a little tiny bit. From 5 PEDs, I've only lost a little tiny bit. So I'll be able to use this another 29 times. I'll be able to do like a 5 PED hunt another 29 times. Now for you new players, that's pretty good. You spend 3 PED, which is nothing, and you got a little weapon, and you got, you spent an extra 5 PEDs on ammunition, and, you can go back out with all of this, right? But instead of doing that, what I would suggest is converting the shrapnel into universal ammunition, because you get a little bit extra. You see, you'll get an extra, I think it's like an extra 3 PCs, 3 to 4 PCs. For every 100 shrapnel, you will make 101 units of ammunition. Which doesn't sound like much, but at the end of the day, if you can get more, then it's always good. It's always good to convert it instead of selling it, unless you're going to be, actually using the PED for something else. But I digress. So, realistically, this 5 PED hunt, you only lost 80 PEC. Let's say you didn't heal, you didn't use anything. You only lost about 80 to 90 PEC with this hunt. So, theoretically, you should be able to do this another 80, 90 times before you completely run out of PED. You should be able to do this a hell of a lot before you run out of PEDs. So let's say you decide, okay, I'm going to do one 5 PED hunt a day. For example, one 5 PED hunt for a day. What else can I do to occupy my time? Well, my friends, there is sweating. And if you don't know what sweating is, then, you're about to have your mind absolutely blown. Because you can get this precious resource for free. You're going to go and find a creature. You're going to equip this item, a VSE Mark 1, which stands for Vibrant Sweat Extractor Mark 1. And you are going to find any of these creatures. And you're going to, well, essentially shoot them with this tool. And this tool will produce this green light, every so often. And then you will get this item, Vibrant Sweat. Now, I only got one in that pull, but you can get up to a maximum of 4 bottles of sweat per pull. Right? Now you're thinking, cool, so I can just sell this to the trade terminal and, get all sorts of things. No. No, that's not how it works. 1,000 bottles of sweat you can only sell to the trade terminal for 1 PEC. But, as you can see, let's look down here. This chap here, Bambi, wants to buy sweat. And as you can see, Redman wants to sell his sweat. He is selling sweat for 1,000 bottles of sweat for 1.5 PEDs. Now, he may or may not get that sale. Someone might undercut him and sell for 1.3 PEDs or 1 PEDs. But I recommend if you're going to be selling sweat, do not go any lower than 1.5 PEDs. Alright, don't go any lower than that unless you're super desperate. So let's say, you don't really want to die to this guy, right? And you decide, okay, I've got 5 bottles of sweat. What you can do is then you can run away and run back to Camp Icarus. And this guy will just follow you. Now, just FYI, you can get about 18 bottles of sweat from these guys before they no longer have sweat. And that is called being dry. When a creature no longer has sweat, they are dry. Now, there was another important thing that I had to show you. Do you remember what it was? My skills. So I gained a couple of skills from that right there. Okay? I gained some evade, gained some combat reflexes, and I gained some sweat gathering. This didn't cost me anything. Right? For you new players, this is going to be very important. This didn't cost me anything. And not only did I gain skills, but I gained a commodity that in a high enough amount, I will be able to sell for PEDs. It's very important for you new players to understand that you can get things for free with a little bit of elbow grease, little bit of work, and you will be able to sell it for some PEDs. Okay? So, with my hunting earlier, my skill level was, relatively high. It's nowhere near the Uber level, but, it's like low mid-tier sort of levels, right? Now remember, I started off with 60,723. Let's have a quick look and see how much it increased by. I don't expect much. 60,733. So I increased the amount of points that I have, my total skill points, by 10. Now that might seem like that's insignificant. It is insignificant if I was doing a big, massive hunt, right? But some of those I got for free. I got for nothing. Right? So, for you new players, $10 worth of Planet Entropia dollars, 100 PED, is going to be more than enough for you right now. More than enough. So if you want 10 if you only play a couple of hours a day, 10 PED is going to be, $10 worth of Planet Entropia dollars. So spending $10 a month for some PEDs, given there is a 5% thing, so in reality you'll probably only get like 95 PEDs if you were to buy $10, like a $10 PED pack on the web store. There is that factor, right? But let's recap very quickly. We were able to get some sweat, some skills. We were also able to find some fruit. And we got some loot back, all for the cost of less than 1 PED at the end of the day. Less than 1 PED at the end of the day. So if you wanted, you could sit here and you can sweat these guys over and over and over again. And then you will make that 1 PED back. You can do that. Now this is strictly, I will state once again, most of the things that I am saying is really only going to apply to new players. You guys that have just started to get your feet wet in the game. You're going to have a lot of people turn around and it's like, nah, you got to go big or go home. You got to hunt big. You got to mine big. You got to do this. You got to do that. No, you really don't have to. At the end of the day, this is a video game. If you are looking to make money, get a job. Okay? 10 out of 10. If you're looking to make money, get a job. If you're looking to make a little tiny bit of money, then even if you just want to make $5 a day, right? Entropia Universe, unless you're willing to put thousands and thousands of dollars into this game, you are not going to make even $5 a day. You'll make more money doing online surveys. So, my advice to you, get that idea out of your head. Because that is going to make you feel really shit about the game. Right? You're going to have a love-hate relationship with the game. If you're the sort of person that loves seeing skill increases, you love the feeling of getting stronger, more powerful. If you like that sort of stuff, then yeah, Entropia Universe, in my opinion, is the place for you. It's the place for you. There's so many different things that you'll be able to do. Making money, for the most part, is not one of them. Unless you are a wise investor. Unless you are a very smart investor, you're not going to play this game and make a shitload of money. Alright? It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. Alright? So, let's get that out of your head. As a new player, you don't want to be thinking about that. You want to be thinking about the game. So you think, okay, I'm $10 a month. It's about the same price as a subscription to nearly everything else. What else can I do as a new player? Okay, well, here's something that you'll find very nice as a new player, and that's mining, right? So, once again, you'll have to get the tools yourself. You would have to get a... Oh wait, that's just the tools. You would have to get an excavator, a refiner, and a detectonator, right? So this will be... Yeah, this will come to... 5 PEDs, 5.1 PEDs, right? So let's say you've bought that. I'm going to use what I have right now because it works the exact same way. So let's say, I've got that. Well, how many times can I actually mine? Right? How many times can I actually do a bit of mining? Let's say you've decided I'm going to get 5 PEDs. Straight up 5 PEDs worth of probes. So you go buy. Okay, now what? What do I do now? I'm down to 87 PEDs. What can I do now? What do I do with this? What do I do with this 100 probes? Well, you bring up whatever basic extractor that you have. It is probably going to be the 10 PEC one from the trade terminal. You equipped it. And you're going to see, it's going to say nothing. It's going to show you the amount of probes. So you decide, I'm going to look at this. Okay, well, what's N matter? Energy matter. Energy matter is anything that isn't a rock, really. So it's going to be certain types of water. It's going to be certain types of oils. It's going to be things like force nexus, which can be used to, with sweat. You can use force nexus to make mind essence, which is something that you'll probably learn about later on down the line. Alright, well, how much does that cost? One probe. One probe, that's what that's going to cost. One probe. So guess what? You'll be able to drop 100 times. Well, that's excellent. Well, let's say you decide, no, I want to look for some mineral, I want to look for some ores. Well, it takes 2 probes per drop. And of course, you look down and you see, I'm going to have 50 drops. Well, how long will it take to do those 50 drops? Let's say you don't have a car, you don't have these. You don't have a flying machine, you don't have a driving machine, you got none of that stuff. You got no vehicles. Right? I think at this point you should have at least one vehicle. I think you get given a vehicle, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I've done the tutorial levels. It's been a while since I did the tutorial stuff. So you decide, okay, I'm going to do some mining. And you're like, well, how exactly do I mine? Well, every extractor has every every detectonator, basically, every mining tool that you use to send probes down, they have specific statistics. So the range, and now this is a range in a circle, right? The range is 54 meters, and the average search depth is around 100, right? It's around 100. I don't know if that's 100 meters or 100 feet. I'm not entirely sure. Just 100. So you're like, okay, well, how do I know when I'm out of that circle? Because I don't want to be doubling up. Well, here's a good idea, right? Look at your latitude and longitude. You can use that as an example of where you've been, but you decide, okay, I think I'm just going to walk a little bit and then drop again. So you drop. You send down the probes. You decide, I just want to look for ore, so you send down the probes. You find nothing. You're going to keep going, right? Now, walking from spot to spot takes some time. It does take some time. So these 50 drops from 5 PEDs worth of probes will probably take you a good long while to do. It will take you a good long while to do. And if you've only got, say, a couple of hours to play, mining might be a good idea for you, right? Mining might be a very good idea for you to get into because it's easy, it's inexpensive, really, and if you get lucky, you'll be able to do this just over and over and over again. Let's drop another one here. So let's say this was, from there to here, let's say it was about 25 meters, and would you look at that? I found some copper stone. Now, up here it will say, this is the depth that you found it at, which was 213 meters. Now you're thinking, but the average search depth was only about 100. How can I get that? Well, that's because it's an average search depth. You'll still be able to find things that are deeper. And the range was 41.4 meters away. So this is a good guesstimate, right? Of how far away you should travel, right? So if you were to go from here to there, you could probably go over to here and then drop another one. But let's see, you got copper stone, so you're going to take out your extractor, you're going to equip it, and let's just click on it and click F. auto use tool. You got 0.32 PEC. Now, you're probably thinking, what am I going to be able to do? Like, what does that mean to me? Right now, nothing. Right now, it is just the cost of, 3 drops? Let's see. Yeah. Cost of about 3 drops. But you've only dropped twice. Think about it that way. So you could go back if you wanted. You know, you could go back and decide, oh no, I want to do some hunting. So you sell the probes and you sell this. And you make that little bit extra on top. You're like, you could do that if you want. At the end of the day, it's your game. You're the one playing. But what you could do is have a look at the market value. Now, the market value for raw materials is generally not good. So you're like, well, if it's not good, well then, you know, I have a little bit of an understanding of the auction house. What am I going to do then? Well, you're going to refine it. You're going to pull out your refiner, find the copper stone, and you're going to drop it right in there. Now, as you can see, I'm pretty sure that this needs 3, right? Now, please add more material to the input window. Now, I'm pretty sure this does require 3. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit more mining, and I'm going to get, you know, some stuff to refine, and I'll show you what I mean by you're probably best off refining stuff. Perfect. We found a bit of Listerium from 1 drop. Once again, it was a tiny, and this was the cost of, you know, about 2 drops. A little bit more than 2.5 drops. So all up, we got enough for, 5 drops. And so far, we have dropped 4 times. Not bad. You're pretty much breaking even at this point. Now, I really don't want to deal with this guy, so we're going to prove a point. We're going to grab our shrapnel. You see how the shrapnel says 3.76. Now, I don't have any universal ammo. Convert ammunition. So remember, 3.76. We have 3.8. Alright? So if you're going to be hunting, I suggest either holding on to or selling the other items, but converting the universal ammunition. Okay? That is what I recommend. Now, back to the Listerium. So, let's look at the Listerium ore. Market value, it's not very good. 101.88. It's not very good. Now, Listerium doesn't sell for much to begin with. Alright? Listerium is a very easy mineral, like very easy thing to find, and it's probably going to be your go-to in the beginning. So let's refine this. So as you can see, if you don't have enough to make another, like after you've gotten all you can, if you don't have enough to make another one, it will place that 1 or 2 or however many back into your inventory. So let's look at the market value of this. 103.3, right? So my suggestion is you keep a massive stack. You just keep finding them and you get a massive stack, and then you put them into the auction house when you have a stack of, 20 or 50 or 100. Right? Now that's mining in a nutshell. But let's say you decide, okay, I've got some stuff. I don't really want to do any more. I don't really want to do any more mining. Maybe it's not my thing. Oh. And another thing to keep an eye out for. While walking around in the world, you will find fruit, but you will also find stones, right? Then we'll pick this up. I found 12 bits of these stones. Now, once again, 1,000 of these and the fruits you can sell for 1 PEC to the trade terminal. You don't want to do that, alright? You do not want to do that. But the markup is substantial, and it sells very, very well, right? If you were to say, like, how much it sells for, it sells for about... per stack, you could sell it for about... Per stack of 1,000, you could probably sell it for about 2 PEDs on the auction house. Alright? So keep in mind, sometimes you can just walk around and find stuff. So that's another thing you could do to kill some time and make a little bit of extra PEDs to fuel your hunting or your mining. Alright? So those are the two basic things that you can do with your money in Entropia. With your 100 PEDs, those are the two things that you will probably end up doing. You will end up doing some mining and some hunting, right? Now, I've been playing for about 30 minutes, and let's head back and we'll just put all of our stuff. You know, we'll put the probes back into the trade terminal, and we'll see exactly like where we're at, PED wise. Okay? We'll see where we're at, and you'll have a good assessment of what you can do with 100 PEDs or $10 a month. Okay, so we're back at the trade terminal. Let's have a good look, and we're just going to TT this, and we're going to look at this, and we're going to put in this. So you know what? Let's not put in that, right? So we'll get back 5.05 PED. So we'll sell those. So you have 92.05 PEDs left, right? Now remember, the mining tools will cost a little bit extra. So let's say you have 85 PEDs left, and you've decided that mining isn't really your thing, and you decide, oh, I'm just going to sell it all back. Let's say you've sold it all back, and now you're back up to about 90 PEDs. But wait, you've still got some ammo. You can go out and do some more hunting, or some sweating, or you can look around for stuff and then sell them on the auction house. There is a lot you can do in this game in the early days, right? There's a lot you can do in the early days. So if you're a new player, I suggest, you know, put in $10 a month, do the low level stuff, do some exploring, do a bit of sweating. Just don't focus too heavily on, you know, those massive globals or those Hall of Fames, right? Because what a lot of people don't realize is they're not like these people that are getting 500 PED like Hoffs and globals. They're not going out there with a pistol, and like they're not going out there with a pistol, right? They're probably they're not going out there with 5 PEDs. They're probably spending 5 PEDs per kill on a creature, right? And the chances are they've probably killed 100 creatures equaling about 500 PEDs just to get that 500 PED global or Hoff. Did they make money? Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, they might have only just doubled their money, or, you know, increased it by 20%. Yeah, that's cool. But for the early days, what's important is getting your skills, learning about the game, and above all else, enjoying the game. Picking a profession that you really, really like, or doing all of them. Being a jack of all trades. For some reason, my hand is in my body. I don't like that. We're going to unequip that. We're gonna yeah, that's better. Don't put yourself in your body. Don't touch yourself. It's not. This is a very PG channel. It's not, but you know. It's more like an M15 plus maybe. You know, there's some swearing and adult humor and stuff, so it's a bit more. Now comes to the final part of this video, which is the end of the month. Let's say you've come to the end of the month and you have, say, 25 PEDs left. You're going to be putting in another 100 PEDs, but you still have 25 PEDs left. What should you do with that 25 PEDs? Well, that depends on you. There are several things you can do. You could increase one of your other skills by, like, you can increase your crafting skills by getting these little nano cubes and treating the last, 25 PEDs as if you're in a slot machine, like as if you're at a slot machine, but you're making stuff. This will go to the blueprint, the basic sort of, the basic explosive blueprint, I think. Explosive projectile blueprint. Of course, you need to buy that. Or you can do what I really do recommend, which is taking that PED out, going to your card, extracting the 25 PED or whatever, going to the storage facility, and just making a stack, right? Increasing the amount of PED that you have in a stack in your storage facility. Because saving up PEDs in the long run, if you do this over a long period of time, and let's say you get lucky in a hunt and you get a global, right? Let's say you're doing a lot of sweating. Let's say you've done no hunting at all. Like no hunting or no mining at all in a month. And you're like, no, I just want to sweat. I'm hanging out with some people at a sweat group. I hop online and I'm just chatting to them, as some people do. I hop online, I'm just chatting to them and getting some sweat. So this month I've only just done sweating and I found some fruit. You put in that 100 PED and you didn't do anything with it, right? So come that end of the month and you pop that 100 PEDs into your personal storage facility, you're going to have 125 PEDs. Plus extra, because you've been selling the sweat and selling the fruit over that month. So chances are, at the end of the month, there's a chance that you could be like 200, 300 PEDs in the positives. Alright? And now you might be thinking, so I'm making money. Yes. But it's only about, a lot of it is money you've already popped in. Right? It's money you've popped in. The stuff that you made sweating and getting fruit, that's gone towards it. Let's say you have 300 PEDs, now in your storage at the end of that month. And let's say 50 of that came from the sweat and the stone. Awesome. That is a solid, that is a solid thing. What can you do with that money, right? Say you've saved up some. I recommend going to the auction house. And let's say you've decided, I'm just going to increase my sweating skill. I'm going to try to get my sweating skill up as high as I can over the next couple of months. As I'm going to be doing, right? Go to the estates and look at the Arcadia Underground deeds or any sort of deeds. Go from by bid, and you're going to see things like the compet deeds. Don't touch those. Don't touch those. I know you can buy them, and then you can trade them for Arcadia Underground deed. No, not Arcadia. Arcadia Moon deeds. You could do that if you like. I'm not sure if that is still a thing. But, you could get them if you want. People obviously still want them, so there is some worth to them. But you come down here and you see, alright, so I can outright buy an Arcadia Underground deed for 78, 79 PEDs. Now, a lot of people are setting them for a bid and increasing the buyout by quite a bit, so people will bid on it. But if you come down here, you'll be able to get an Arcadia Underground deed for 78 PED. Let's say you go down, you decide, I'll get two. I'll get two for 152 PED, and then I'll have 150 PED left over in my thing. You're like, okay, well, what's that going to do? Well, you'll get about 2 PEC a day from that. So a little bit of passive PECs, which really isn't much in the early days, but you do this after a while, you're going to build up a good stack of deeds, and you're going to be able to bring in a couple of PEDs a day. And those couple of PEDs a day, let's say you have enough to get 1 PED a day, right? Well, after 30 days, after a month, you're going to have about 30 PEDs, extra PEDs, that you'll be able to just chuck into storage or leave on your card or whatever. And at the end of the day, if you didn't want, like, say you decide, you know what, I don't really like the deeds, I prefer to just use my PEDs to hunt and stuff, that's completely fine as well. At the end of the day, Entropia Universe is a game that you play your way, right? You play it how you want to play it. But I have given you a good understanding, I hope. I hope I've explained myself pretty well. I've given you a good understanding of what you can do with $10 a month in Entropia. You could get quite a bit. You could throw in like an extra, you could put in $50 a month if you wanted. If you really wanted to. It's your money. You can do with it whatever you feel like. But for those that are like, I don't want to put too much money into it, you know, I don't see myself making money in the game, and I don't really want to. I've already, I just want to play the game. Put $10 in a month, and you'll have a little bit to work with. Let that build up over time. Let your skills build up over time. And eventually you'll be able to do, more cool stuff, right? And if you have deeds, well then, one day, those 5 PED hunts that you do every day, you won't have to put any money in for them, because you'll be getting the money from the deeds. Anyway, this has been an excruciatingly long video, and it's just something that I wanted to do because I was thinking about it last night. I've shown people like how to do things, and I've given my like opinion on like certain things, but I've never actually sat down and gone through the motions and showed people this is what you can do with 100 PEDs or $10 a month in Entropia Universe. You can make 100 PEDs stretch across a month. You can do that. That is very much possible. Even for some of you higher players out there that, understand the value of a single PED. Take some time, look for some fruit, do a bit of sweating, and if you're already doing that, excellent. If you've already got deeds and you don't need to put anything in anymore, awesome. Congrats. That's amazing. Like it's a bit more difficult these days, but guys like Serial Overdrive from back in the day, they grinded, they worked that grind, and, they got a lot of deeds, and now they get like 60 PEDs a week from their deeds. Though I think it's a little bit lower now, but you can invest in the game if you want. If you really want to invest. I know people that spend like hundreds of dollars a month on cigarettes. If Entropia Universe is your vice, then I see nothing wrong with putting, X amount of dollars into the game a month. But for those that just want to spend $10 a month, it's very doable. Right? It is very, very doable. And, if you take advantage of the free stuff that you can do, the looking for fruit, the sweating, the just going out and getting killed by mobs, like, believe it or not, you'll get skills by just doing that as well. And don't forget, there's also missions all over the place. Missions that you can just pick up and do. Some of them even give you weapons, some of them give you ammunition that you'll be able to use, and you'll be able to add to your overall stock. So, yeah, don't feel like you need to put a shitload of money in, and don't feel like you need to make money in the game. Alright? I cannot stress that enough. At the end of the day, Entropia Universe, at its core, is a sci-fi MMORPG with a good emphasis on the social aspect. Join a society. Hang out with some of your society friends. Chat to them. There is so much you can do in the game beyond I'm going to make a quick buck. Alright? Anyway, I've spoken about this enough. There's probably going to be quite a few of you that 100% disagree with me. That's, and that's 100% your opinion, and you are, I believe that everyone has a right to their opinions, But let me know down below, what do you guys think about, being able to hunt or being able to just play the game with X amount? How much do you guys put in a month if you put in? If you don't put anything in, like I know one of you guys don't, how do you go about doing things? Do you look for fruit? Do you sweat? Did you build up enough to start trading on the auction house? That's another thing you could do if you're very lucky. You could use some of the PEDs that you've got and just trade on the auction house. You won't make a lot of money at the start, but eventually you might, get enough to get, a decent amount of PEDs a day that you can then use to go out and play the game some more. Do some hunting, do some exploring. And there are other things you could take advantage of as well, like you could run a taxi business, eventually you could have a shop. You could do some crafting and sell to other people. There's a number of things you're able to do in this game. Beyond, I'm going to try to get the biggest HOF possible so I make a shitload of money. Alright? Can't stress that enough. Anyway, this has been a long video. If you guys have stuck through this for this long, why not think about subscribing? Because I'm going to be putting out videos nearly every day. Every weekday, and sometimes twice a day, or most of the time it's going to be 2 videos a day, all that jazz. And if you guys want me to touch on any nuanced things in the game, let me know, because even if it's something that I have not looked into, it'll give me a chance to look into it and really, really look at it. Alright guys, I've taken up enough of your time. Go out there and just enjoy yourselves, man. Enjoy yourselves. Take care, guys.